You remember that moment when you began to suspect that he might be someone special to you. When he stopped being just another guy and began to occupy an important place in your thoughts. You began to get excited at the thought of him and to include him in your future plans. But suddenly, something changed. He stopped looking for you as often and no longer responded to your messages as quickly or with the same enthusiasm. The desire to see you that he had at first started to fade. Maybe he even gave you lame excuses or avoided spending time with you. You noticed that he was becoming more distant and cold, and you feared the worst. In some cases, it wasn't a gradual withdrawal. He just disappeared without warning. And then the big question arises. What has happened? What can you do about it? Today I'm going to tell you exactly what to say and do when a man pulls away. Most of the romantic advice you find out there usually sounds good, but often doesn't work. However, here you will find real solutions. When a man pulls away, there is a simple, yet impactful action you can take. To avoid making mistakes, we will first identify what you should avoid doing. Which, interestingly enough, is what most women tend to do in these situations. How an insecure person tends to react. They usually make one of three main mistakes. 1. Provoking sympathy. 2. Nagging and blaming. 3. Blackmailing, pressuring, or insulting. Let's start with the first one. Provoking sympathy. We live in a culture where certain behaviors are unacceptable unless they are justified by love. In the name of love, we are allowed to lose our dignity, humiliate ourselves, and grovel. You remember the movie License to Kill. For you have been led to believe that true love gives you a license to grovel. Without you I don't know what I will do. If you leave me I will destroy myself. I need you more than air, please stay with me. One more day, just one more. The result of these actions? A disaster. The more you try to pity her, the more she will distance herself. If she is a good person she may out of pity stay a little longer. However, every moment she spends with you out of pity is like a dose of poison in the relationship. Pity kills the attraction. When she is finally released from that obligation, she will be left with such a negative memory of the experience that she will prefer to avoid thinking about you. So naturally, he will try not to. The second tactic, trying to make him feel guilty, is not effective either. I understand that suddenly, he stops giving you the attention you feel you deserve, and you feel hurt, belittled, offended, angry. He has hurt you and you want him to get what he deserves. A good lecture to make him understand how badly he has behaved. To calm your anger, you hope that he admits his mistake, that he repents and sincerely apologizes so that you can forgive him and move on together. That's the scene you imagine, but at the first complaint, he pulls away even more. Why does this happen? Because in reality, you are not reprimanding him from a position of authority or power, but from necessity. You understand what I mean. You criticize him, but you need him. You show defiance, but it's just a facade. You pretend to be strong, but deep down, you need him to give in. Who do you think you are to treat me like this? Why didn't you answer my messages? I hope you have a good reason. You're okay with disappearing without saying anything. To the reasons he already had for distancing himself from you. Now you add others. Wow. What a complicated person. She will always be so jealous. We barely know each other and she is already so possessive and insecure. If with such a short time of relationship she is already this controlling, what won't she do in a few years? And if that doesn't work, she resorts to guilt. Because of you I will fail the exam. See what financial situation you leave me in? You are the reason why I started smoking again. Look at the big nose. The hamster you gave me has been stressed out because of you. The result is that you push him away even more. It's like a witch train in an amusement park, where children have to dodge the blows of a witch with her broom. When you attack him with reproaches and accusations, he feels he has mistakenly boarded that train, and when he finally gets off you, he sighs in relief thinking, "Good thing I got rid of that witch." Talking about unconventional methods. You know how many videos I've seen with millions of views about magic spells and potions. They talk about black magic, white magic, color magic, and all kinds of incantations to keep a man by your side. But these formulas are as ineffective as the third trap many people fall into. Insult him, threaten him, or force him in some way. If you leave I will tell everyone your secret. Or if you leave, forget about seeing your stuff again. Sometimes, these threats get really scary. If you leave, I'll make sure I get custody of the kids. Or, if you leave me, I will get a lawyer to take everything away from you. In extreme cases, desperation drives some people to threaten false accusations. Speaking of extreme situations, imagine how I felt when someone once held me in their house. Yes, they locked me in so I wouldn't leave. And now I want you to think about this. When I finally made it out of there, do you think I had any desire to go back to that place? Don't make that mistake. Avoid drama, and don't get carried away with anger. It's easy to get carried away, and start yelling or saying terrible things that you don't really feel. Be very careful with this. Because even if you don't really feel it, the wounds you open may not heal, even after the anger has passed. The problem with all these tactics is that they try to pressure him from the outside, to satisfy your desire to be with him. But they fail to awaken his genuine interest in being with you. What really matters is that this desire comes naturally from him. Imagine your relationship as a small plant in a pot. Your job is to nurture and care for it so that it grows on its own. However, when you resort to pity, guilt, his fears, or any emotion other than his own desire, it is as if you are forcing the plant to grow by pulling on it. And some people see that the plant seems to grow a little bit more when they pull on it. They mistakenly believe they are helping, but in reality, they are hurting it. Note also that all of these strategies stem from need. As I always tell you, need drives away, while other people try to generate pity, blame, or blackmail from a position of need. You, as a confident person, are going to take an independence approach. Ready? I'm going to show you how to talk to that man who is distancing himself from you, and completely surprise him. Just tell him, I want to be honest with you. You are a wonderful person with so much to offer, and I would love to explore and get to know those qualities further. I want to know what is going on, and if there is anything I can do to improve the situation, I would like you to tell me with total sincerity. You can personalize this sentence according to your context, or create a similar one with the same message. After this, walk away, and focus on yourself, and your life. Because by doing this you will have done your part. And it will be up to him to take the next step. And you know why this course of action is so effective? Because you are sending him all the right signals about you. To begin with, instead of starting with accusations or criticism, you are choosing to give him the benefit of the doubt. You can have your own assumptions, but you will always give him the privilege of doubt, and treat him as if he is innocent until proven guilty. This keeps him from feeling attacked, and at the same time shows that you are a person of integrity, who expects the same from others. By assuming his innocence, you communicate that you are a person who values himself, and surrounds himself with people with great values. In this way, you set high expectations for your partner. Expectations that he will be motivated to meet. Also, by mentioning that you want to continue to get to know him, you accomplish two things. First, he will understand that you are not rushing or trying to trap him. Second, you make him feel special and appreciated. And you know what we do when someone makes us feel this good? We want to spend more time with that person. On the other hand, he'll see that you're not afraid to be honest, and express your feelings. You'll be the confident person who doesn't hide your vulnerability, eliminating the need to play mind games. You see, you're disarming any barriers, avoiding ego conflicts, and encouraging him to do the same by your example. Finally, you show him that you are a person who looks for solutions instead of focusing on the problems. That you prefer to build instead of dramatize. Have you realized how hard it is to find someone like that? Because you are trying to understand, to discover, and to grow. Instead of blaming others or playing the victim, you take responsibility for yourself and your desire to continue to grow as a true achiever. You are someone he hasn't even crossed paths with in his wildest dreams. Let me stress it one more time. This kind of approach only makes sense if you then give it its space, and focus on yourself, your goals, your interests, your attractiveness, and meeting other people. In other words, use that time to evolve. Trust me. For a man, there is nothing more exciting than meeting a woman again, and seeing that she has changed for the better. It's like dynamite. As men, we respond very well to absence and novelty. And with you he will experience both. With your words, you have already stoked interest in the relationship. Now it's time to give him space, which you accomplish by leaving him alone, and moving on with your life. Easy, no? That's all you have to say and do. Now imagine being in his place, and walking away from a person who values him but doesn't need him. Who tries to understand him instead of judging him. And who keeps improving himself constantly. It's much harder to walk away from someone like that than from a possessive and controlling person, who is always looking for conflict. So engrave today's lesson in your mind. Instead of pleading or accusing from need, you're going to ask, explore and probe from independence. Don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tip, which I will share with you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. See you soon with more valuable content.